What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. Today was a crazy day in the market. Apple stock is tanking in after hours. Lucid stock is literally exploding, and Facebook is changing its name to Meta. So we have a very interesting day today. A lot of stocks are going crazy, and we have a lot to talk about. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of today's video and let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below, and we'll probably cover them in tomorrow's video. But to start things off, Tom, Lucid stock is exploding. What's happening with it?
Yeah, they are up 31% here at close, topping over 40% at the high of day today. And they actually reported that they'll be delivering the first edition of their Dream sedans starting October 30th with a range of 520 miles, making it the longest ranged electric vehicle out on the market so far. That's actually really good news there. That range of 520 miles is awesome. I know that the Tesla truck is supposed to come in somewhere close to 500. So hopefully hopefully we see some good numbers out of those. But either way, Lucid had a really nice explosion today. As we can see here on the 1-year daily chart, they actually exploded right above that $30 resistance. We were talking about this a lot over the past couple of weeks. They retested it about a month ago, and then we actually saw this week as they started to slowly approach this. And then today they finally broke it and exploded on this great news. And, you know, a lot of growth stocks were exploding. We saw Lucid go up today. RUN had a nice day. Plug exploded up too. And we just saw the growth stocks really take off today.
You know it. And like some of the call options on Lucid today were up like 3,000%. It had such an amazing move. And I feel like they're a pretty solid company for the long term. Of course, they are relatively risky and they do have a lot of competitors. But I just feel like the EV sector just has so much like room to grow over the next decade, especially. And, you know, just look what happened with Tesla over like the past 2 years.
Yeah, and look at Tesla now. They're actually breaking all-time highs. And I'm really glad that Tesla had this big move. I think that it really showed the strength that the EV sector can have. And we're starting to see a lot of the other EV companies pop off as well. I know that NIO has had a pretty good past couple of days as well. And it just seems like that the sector overall has been popping off. I know XPEV has been moving up pretty drastically over the past month also. And it just seems like that the EV sector is finally getting that hype back. I know that for a long time, people were talking about Michael Burry shorting Tesla and different stuff like that. And it seemed pretty worrisome there with all those chip delays and everything. But these companies are really innovating and pushing past that.
You know it. So it's just crazy to see this, and it's awesome to see these stocks exploding up. And then we have to talk about Facebook too. So I'll admit this news kind of was really interesting. So Facebook is actually changing their name to Meta, and with that comes a new ticker symbol. So if you want to trade what's now known as Facebook, starting on December 1st, the new ticker symbol will be MVRS, like Tom has pulled up right here, MVRS. And Facebook is basically changing their name, and they're going heavy with like augmented and virtual reality. They said that they don't want their, I guess you could say, company just like connected to one of their apps, you can say. So all in all, I would say this is some pretty interesting news, and I'm very excited to see what like adaptations and what Facebook has to offer when it comes like to like virtual reality and augmented reality.
Yeah, and they talked about also creating a lot of weird stuff with like creating like games into the workplace. Like you could create like a lot of fun opportunities. Like obviously, like you could turn like an office space, and if you wear like augmented reality, like a headset or glasses, you could change it into some crazy type of space. So there's definitely lots of stuff that they can do there. And there's been lots of stuff that's been talked about. And if you guys want to see a cool movie where they actually have a metaverse, go check out the movie Summer Wars. I saw it a long time ago. I know that it's a definitely like one of those anime type of movies. So be a little careful with it, but it's definitely interesting how they show how the metaverse could possibly be implemented into society. And I feel like Facebook's kind of going on that route right here.
Yeah, so it's definitely big news. Very interesting to say the least. So Facebook will definitely be on my radar. I've been thinking about like selling some puts on it, but it's just been on my radar so far. And then Tom, I saw that Apple was going crazy in after hours on their earnings. What's happening there?
Yeah, we had some big companies report. We had Apple report, Starbucks, and Amazon. Apple here is actually tanking off, and the earnings weren't terrible. They actually came in with a 1.24 EPS versus a 1.24 expected. So nothing really moved there, but their revenue actually came in less than expected. They had an 83.36 billion revenue versus an 84.85 billion expected. So they lost there. And the main issue, Tim Cook says, is the supply chain issues that ended up costing the company $6 billion this quarter. And he said, in quotes, "We had a very strong performance despite larger than expected supply constraints, which we expect to be around $6 billion. Like he said, the issues cost the company around $6 billion. And he says that the supply constraints were driven by the industry-wide chip shortages that have been talked about quite a bit in other sectors and with Apple, and also COVID-related manufacturing disruptions in Southeast Asia. So there's definitely lots of stuff going on. Seems like those production problems cost Apple around $6 billion there. And it's definitely a pretty big deal. And we can see Apple kind of tanking off here in after hours. If we look on the daily chart, they were getting pretty close to those all-time highs. And unlike Microsoft, which ended up exploding up to new highs, Microsoft, or I should say Apple now, is falling down.
Yeah, definitely interesting there. And then even Amazon suffering, like they're down pretty big in after hours. It looks like, what is it, like over $200 a share?
Yeah, and they actually really lost on their EPS even. They reported a 6.12 versus a 9.1 estimate. They really lost on that. Their revenue came in less than expected as well at 110.81 billion versus 111.6. I know that the numbers can get a little crazy to hear there, but look at the EPS. You can see the estimate down there at 9.1 and the actual at 6.12. That's a pretty bad loss, and I'm sure that they're having supply problems as well.
Yeah, so I thought it was important to look how Apple's reacting, especially while you're comparing that to Microsoft's chart. Microsoft has just been exploding lately, and earnings actually really helped them. So it looks like we're having like a bit of a disconnect there. While Apple and Amazon are tanking off, Microsoft is definitely rocketing pretty hard. So, and at the same time, the market's still really close to all-time highs.
Yeah, it really is. The SPY almost hit new highs here at the end of the day. And now that Apple's kind of tanking off, we might see it dip down a little bit here in after hours, especially with Amazon going down too. But at the end of the day, we tried to make new highs right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get right into our member of the day. In today's member of the day, we have Winner Chicken Dinner. So he had a pretty solid day. He said today was day one using your bots in my new strategy, and I made 52 bucks. Not a lot, but it worked. Thanks for the Lucid play. So awesome job, Winner Chicken Dinner. I know Lucid was great to a lot of people today, and he used the bot. So if you guys want to try out the bot, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below. It's been working pretty well, and you can cancel at any time, and we have a coupon running. So awesome job, Winner Chicken Dinner, and keep up the great work. And then let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Teladoc to the upside.
Yeah, Teladoc had a really great explosion today after tanking off on earnings yesterday. Hopefully Apple does this after the terrible day they're having. But go ahead and make Teladoc move above 153.17.
Awesome. And then with the next one, we have Spotify also to the upside.
Yep, make them go ahead and break above 293.32.
All right. And then with the last one, we have ChargePoint also to the upside.
Yeah, these growth stocks are on fire. Make them break the high of day at 24.36.
All right. So we're watching these three stocks for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow. Only if they break above the levels Tom listed. Just quick in and out day trades. And then ChargePoint was a pretty solid play from the bot today. If we look at this hybrid channel, we could see the hybrid bot called out ChargePoint 24 strike calls at $95 each. They ran all the way up to $129 each. It was a pretty solid play by the bot, and it was a relatively quick run up. So if you guys want to try out our bots and you can trade with Tom and myself every single day, definitely check out that first link in the description down below. You can cancel at any time. The bots have been doing really well. Like we could see even yesterday, yesterday's play went from 169 all the way up to 374, and not every single play works, but generally speaking, the bot does pretty well. You can cancel at any time, and if you want to try it out, now would be the time because we are running a coupon, and it is automatically applied to the links in the description and the comments down below. So definitely take a look at it, and let's get right into the comments from the previous video. We have Cooking asking about Disney and Uber, please. So looking at Disney, it's not really doing too much. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, they're really hovering here right around support. I'd love to see them get some good news and go up, especially if they have good earnings coming up on November 10th. I think that would make Disney get a pretty big pop back to the upside, but those earnings have to come in pretty good. If not, they might break the support to the downside. So I don't know. I'm really mixed on them. I love them for the long term. I think for shares, you just can't go wrong with it, even right now. But I feel like that for the shorter term, I feel like it's right on support. So maybe you can look at a support bounce right here. But other than that, I don't think I would look at it for a shorter term play, but I love it for maybe selling puts or getting shares.
Gotcha. So I actually really like this one. I know it hasn't been doing too much lately, but I feel like it does have a lot of potential, and I feel like it's been lagging behind the overall market a lot. We just need something to like ignite the momentum trend, you can say. So I've been watching it for a while, and I'm eagerly waiting for a bounce back up.
Yeah, and they are right around that 168 support. So hopefully it comes pretty soon because, every time it seems like we've hit this lately, we've gotten a pretty good bounce. So hopefully we can break above this 180 resistance soon.
All right. And then what do you think about Uber?
Uber, I actually like this one for the longer term, but in the short term, they have been dipping down a little bit. We can see the past 2 days, they've actually been selling off pretty decently. But if we look at the max daily chart, they have been recovering up from this low at $40. I mean, I like them for the long term, but for the short term, I think it's going to be very mixed, and they are going into earnings. And I know that this stock has moved pretty drastically off of earnings in the past. We can see before they had a big gap to the upside, but they've also had huge moves to the downside off of earnings. So it's very 50-50. I feel like that with everything going on, they might go to the downside, but keep in mind, it's total speculation. I don't think I would play with earnings coming up.
Yeah, so I'm just neutral on Uber. I feel like they'll do fine for the long term, but they're just not really a play for me right now. And then with the next comment, we have Ryan saying, what do you think about Visa? So I know that we've been getting a lot of comments about stock ticker V. I am not bearish on this one, but at the same time, I'm not too bullish. I feel like it would be a great stock to have in like a long-term portfolio, but I just feel like there will be an opportunity to pick this one up at a lower price. I'm really looking at like around that $200 support, maybe a little bit lower. So I like this one, but I'm just going to wait just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I would wait a little bit to it. For some reason, they are selling off pretty drastically, and we're seeing lots of bank stocks, we should say, going to the upside. I know MasterCard has also been selling off with Visa. I don't know what's been going on in the credit card industry / sector, but definitely not good here in the short term. And I'd be really worried about Visa right now, but I feel like that there's a pretty big support coming up around $200 even. So look at that over the next couple of weeks.
All right, and then we have Whitney saying Ford is reinstating their dividend next quarter. So yeah, I saw that. Ford is just exploding up. They're up like 9% today. They're looking pretty good. And Tom and I were talking about this before the video, but the fact that they're bringing their dividend back is a pretty good sign.
Yeah, that's actually a really good thing. A lot of companies, whenever they take that dividend away, it takes them quite a long time to get it back. But with Ford, it's only been just a couple years since they got rid of it. It looks like just about a year and a half or so. So I feel like that's pretty good to see them getting that back. I know lots of investors are bullish on them with them investing into electric vehicles and stuff. And I know that lots of people have been saying that Ford and GM might even overtake Tesla eventually. So we'll have to see how that happens in the EV sector. But I know that Ford and GM should do pretty good.
There we go. So Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything you are watching for tomorrow?
I'm really keeping my eye on a lot of these big growth stocks. We can see PLUG is starting to really break out above their resistance, above that 35 resistance. We have LCID breaking out above $30. A lot of these growth stocks are starting to really break their resistances. Palantir is one that had a little bit of a move up today, but it didn't actually move too much. It's kind of lagging behind. I feel like they're in a great spot for the longer term. And I feel like that eventually they might get a kind of like a pop up like some of these other stocks like Lucid and other stocks like that. But I really like Palantir and a lot of these other growth stocks right now, especially with how we've been seeing them pop off. Like we saw Enphase very early this week have some pretty nice moves. Now Lucid and a few others are starting to pop off. And I feel like over the next few days, we might just continue to see, it might not be Lucid tomorrow. Tomorrow might be Corsair, or who knows, there's definitely a lot of stocks out there at pretty good levels. I know Zoom's one that had a pretty good turnaround today. Even Teladoc had a really big move to the upside.
There we go. So if you are an options trader, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below. Daily option swing trades, day trades, and access to an amazing community. So far this week, 3 out of the 4 hybrid bot plays popped for at least 35%. The worst one popped for like 3%, and the best one popped for 121%. So definitely check it out. You can cancel at any time, and now would be the time to try it out because we do have a coupon running. The coupon is automatically applied to the link in the description and the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.